Parental discretion is advised.
This show is brought to you by IndieWrestling.us and IndieWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Just Pro Wrestling News Podcast. No filler, no pop-ups. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. It is the Monday Mayhem Warriors. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I made it right under the wire to unpack all the gear from our double shot this weekend and hang out with all of you, including our friend from Beacon, New York. He's the only Mayhemmer with a future endeavor letter from the WWE, but not the only Mayhemmer, or not the only one that I met with a future endeavor letter this weekend. We'll talk about some of those people probably. There's a lot of them out there. You can't throw a rock at a wrestling ring without finding someone with a future endeavor letter from WWE. Also, don't throw rocks at wrestling rings. But Matt and Mike is with us.
Rapadoo!
Sorry, I went down a rat hole on your introduction. Yeah. That shows how well I'm doing after 8 hours in a car.
What is up, Sorg?
Hi.
Let's rapadoo this.
Let's rapadoo this. I can't wait to hear how the celebration went. I've been seeing some great tweets about it. So at least in
Sorg Raw tonight was the forbidden window.
The forbidden window. Oh no. So it's
the forbidden Skype window.
So you can see right through it and it's very fragile. Anyways, also with us representing, I guess, Wrestling Inc. is every day Matt Carlins has moved on.
What's happening?
Hey!
Sorg, if I'm here with you tonight, have I really moved on? I haven't really moved on.
Oh, boy. This is how it goes. You know, we have people on for a few years, and they move on to bigger and better things. Sometimes they come back. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's just for the anniversary show. Sometimes when we have New Japan Pro Wrestling to talk about, we get Matt Carlins.
I mean, and just, I watch this show every Monday night now, so why not come on here and report my findings?
Fantastic.
Warmest of greetings. May the blessings of the Sea Nation be upon you, Sorgy.
Awesome. I'm glad Nick and everybody can still share you with us. So I didn't realize, is Ross Berman a coworker of yours now?
Yep.
Wow. That dawned on me last week looking at tweets that I was reading his profile. I'm like, oh, he works for that site. I feel like everybody works for that damn site anymore. So, anyways, this is the Monday.
Called an aggressive expansion.
Yeah, apparently they're getting all the talent.
Yeah.
So
sound familiar?
Yeah.
Did you have to be in a room with tryouts?
No tryouts. Just letting everybody in.
Do you get special hugs from the CEO?
Oh my god!
Let me know how the company retreat goes.
I was like, I'm watching that stuff, the media scrum from after the pay-per-view on Sunday night. And I'm watching it, and he's hugging Claudio, and then he hugs Okada. I'm like, is this getting weird? This is getting weird. And then this morning I wake up and there's just stills of it everywhere. I'm like, good. It was weird. I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
It wasn't because you were watching it at
on an island.
It wasn't because you were watching it at 1 in the morning, right? It was like, no, this was weird.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, it was a little weird.
Yes.
A little weird.
It was. Should we start with?
A little weird. I didn't like it.
Should we start with the Raw talk? Should we start with should we? We'll get to Forbidden Door in a little bit, and I want to talk about Warrior Wrestling. But maybe we'll talk about a little bit of my experience with sweaty dick punching from Grand Rapids on Saturday.
I can briskly and swiftly usher you through the events of tonight's Raw.
Yeah, let's get Raw out of the way. Quickly. We still
I promise it won't take as long as it did last
week.
We
still kind of label ourselves as a Raw recap show, so we might as well own up to that, even though I never watch Raw anymore. I did watch mostly the last 15 minutes, though, because I got in the studio, settled in a little bit, and caught a little bit of that. Hey, they feature a women's match most of the time, so I'm kind of into it.
It wasn't bad tonight.
Okay.
Mad Mike, what did you think of the opening scene of the show?
Oh,
they do the reverse Vince limo explosion scene, except this time it's Cena entering the building where everyone is there.
Wait.
Highlights for me. There was a Jason Jordan sighting.
Mm-hmm.
Always a highlight.
Mm-hmm.
Always a highlight. Becky Lynch once again, long-term booking, not acknowledging Cena. she was sitting on a bench, did not even look up at him, but it was like she had to be there just because she was there. It was fun.
This is a mandatory company meeting at this point, right?
It was basically a mandatory company meeting.
It wasn't. Like, there were some people that weren't there because, you know. Sorg. Cena did eventually get to meet Ezekiel, though.
No.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right.
Ezekiel, big fan. Big fan.
Yeah. So briskly into the opening match, which was Sorgi, a Money in the Bank Last Chance Battle Royal.
Mm-hmm.
All of the usual people you would expect in this kind of a thing are there. Plus
and T-Bar.
And T-Bar, plus AJ Styles and the Mysterios, and Nakamura was there. There was a lot of there was no brand split.
Nakamura, Shanky Two Dope, and Violent Jinder were there.
The Miz was in this thing. Anyway, it ended. Riddle won the Last Chance Battle Royal, so Riddle's now in the men's Money in the Bank match.
Matt, did you appreciate that Miz was setting up your roll under the ring injury?
The hidden opponent finish for the Battle Royal? Yeah. Yes, I was watching carefully. But they didn't go full hidden opponent. He revealed himself too soon. Bad strategy by Miz.
All right,
until
speaking
the
of
full hidden opponent Battle Royal finish, you wait until the guy throws who he thinks is the last person in the Battle Royal out, and then you get him when he's celebrating, and then you toss him out. Miz revealed himself way too soon. He was feigning a knee injury on the floor, but be that as
it was.
Speaking of bad strategy in a Battle Royal. So T-Bar threw Ricochet over the top rope. Ricochet landed on a ladder, which was great.
You got to explain this more for sure. The ladder was set up.
It's go home show to Money in the Bank, so ladders are all over the place.
Okay.
And he lands on it, as they do when they're like springboarding into the ring. And
so he lands on the rungs. You're talking about he lands
he
like
lands on the
boom.
The ladder. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, and then he's like, "Oh, I did it," and then he dives back into the ring, as opposed to what a smart person would do, and just hang out. Because he's not eliminated.
No.
Okay.
Like, someone would have to step through the ropes or over the ropes and climb the ladder to go out and get him.
Mm-hmm.
And by that point, he would see them coming, obviously.
You would hope.
I'm like, yeah, Ricochet did the Kofi spot, but
he did his version of a Kofi spot.
Was there a failed Kofi spot for Rey Mysterio in this match?
I believe so. I thought the same thing.
Okay.
I thought the same thing.
Sorgi, there was a moment where the Miz and Ziggler and Rey were all out on the ring apron, and Ziggler and Rey just kind of both like put their hands on Rey and just kind of shoved him off, and he flew at the barricade like he was going to do a John Morrison thing and like hang on to it, but instead he just kind of went and he fell off.
Oh.
So
I wonder if they're making the barriers out of something new because of the LED.
You believe the new barrier construction might have contributed to the failed Kofi?
Because remember, Kofi at the Rumble tried the same thing and slipped. Granted, it could just be they're getting older.
When's the last time they connected on one of these barricade spots, Mad Mike? What's going on out here?
It's been a minute.
Somebody needs to do some research.
What? Okay. We're gonna get our best people on that.
Yeah.
We'll get on that right now.
We'll get to the Mayhem Show research department and see how that is. So, all right, what else happened?
Let's see what we got here. Okay, the much hyped match we were looking forward to between Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel or Elias or Elrod didn't happen. They said they had to reschedule it.
What?
Money in the Bank's on Saturday, Sorg. I'm thinking we're going to get Owens versus Ezekiel on SmackDown now.
No, we might get Owens versus Elrod.
We might get.
Because
are they doing anything for the pay-per-view?
Do you want to trod with Elrod?
We got to get to that when we get to that. That's too funny. Let's see. Cena sightings. Blah blah blah. Oh, okay. Here's they kept
Forbidden Window.
Yeah, Forbidden Window stuff. They kept
what?
They were running these videos of wrestlers greeting John Cena, sending their well wishes to John Cena. So they did a couple of these things. So the first one comes up, and it's like, Shawn Michaels. Oh, congratulations, John. Next thing you know, Big Show. And I'm like, that's odd.
Yeah.
And then it's Booker T. And I'm like, okay, that's okay. Daniel Bryan. And I'm like, wait a minute. What the hell's happening here?
Who's that guy?
I haven't heard of that guy in like a year.
And then Triple H. And I'm like, oh, he's alive. And so, yeah, we got some, serious Forbidden Window stuff going on here with Big Show and Daniel. I don't know who Daniel Bryan is, but Bryan Danielson looks very similar to him. And Chris Jericho pops up later in another series of greetings for Cena. Wacky. Okay. It's nice.
He's a wizard, I've heard.
It's nice. I wasn't holding my breath for Punk to show up in one of these, but that would have been nice.
I would have laughed if Punk did one and he said, "I don't dislike you, John." Like he just did the pipe bomb speech.
Oh, you just did that.
He just did the Cena part of the pipe bomb speech again, and then that was it.
I like you a lot more, and I like most of the people in the back. Yeah, I know. It's like, okay.
But he did not say hi at Colt Cabana this time.
No, I don't think we're getting that either. Let's see. Montez Ford beat Jey Uso with a frog splash. So good on that. They're gonna have a title match.
And that means the Profits get to name the stipulation, which has yet to be named.
Oh yes, good point.
Money in the Bank.
We had a 2/3 of Judgment Day interaction. Finn and Damian Priest bumped into Rey and Dominic, and Raw is in San Diego next Monday, and that's going to be happening next Monday. It's going to be Rey and Dominic.
Perfect time for Dominic to turn on his dad.
Priest. Dominic's going to join the Judgment Day, Sorg.
What?
Get into it.
What?
God, I hope.
No. Damian Priest was staring at Dominic going, don't you think maybe you need to listen to somebody who maybe could give you some good advice?
Like your real father?
Yeah, exactly. He's laying it on thick. Oh, my God. Okay, we get this wonderful, it's like 9 o'clock Eastern time. We get this wonderful career retrospective video for John Cena. It's like 3 minutes long.
As if
it's
we have
beautiful.
no idea.
It tells the whole story. Make a wish. All the good stuff. It's all in there. They come out of this thing.
in there. Eagly made an appearance on Raw.
What?
They come out.
He's
of
canon?
this thing.
Is he canon just like the Muppets now?
He's canon.
Oh.
The Muppets were in it too.
There was
a short clip of Kermit the Frog wearing a hat doing You Can't See Me.
I'm watching this on Hulu tomorrow. This sounds fantastic.
Honestly, you could probably just find the retrospective package on like Twitter.
I don't trust. I'm actually flipping through the Twitter and I'm not seeing that kind of stuff. And the YouTube's been really kind of hit and miss lately. So
you can't trust that Hulu cut, Sorg. You got to get straight from the cable.
That's true. Oh wait, no, I didn't DVR it. It might be on Xfinity. I don't know. I'll check on it. Anyways, go ahead.
They wrap up this very nice retrospective. Like I said, it's like 5 minutes long. It seems to go on forever. They cut to the arena. The fans are chanting. They're chanting, "Yay!" The Irish Robot is in the ring. Kevin Patrick, and he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen," and I'm like, "Oh man, let's do it. Please welcome my guest at this time, The Miz." And The Miz comes.
Oh jeez.
I'm like, huh?
Sorg, I found the YouTube for you. I'm putting it in the chat.
All right, send that to me.
But of note here, The Miz comes out and starts talking about Logan Paul again.
Mm-hmm.
And he says,
"Oh boy."
He says he and Logan Paul will return as a tag team at SummerSlam.
Oh.
So in other words, Miz versus Logan Paul at SummerSlam.
Or they're going to team up again against somebody else.
Long-term booking.
Apparently, that whole deal at WrestleMania after the match was a teachable moment. Trademark Chase U, and I don't know what's going on, but something's going on.
By the way, this is a sidebar. Did you guys see the Thea Hale Chase U video?
I saw like the acceptance video. I haven't seen anything since.
Now she moved into the dorms at Chase U.
No, okay.
Co-ed dorms.
Damn it.
It's honestly, it's lovely.
Is this
lovely.
Is this what brings me back to NXT? Oh, but it's so
no,
much
it,
New
it
Japan
won't
to
bring you
watch.
back fully. It won't bring you back fully, but it's a lovely.
This is one of those tune in,
encapsulation.
look for the segments with X guy move on kind of thing, right? Like that's should just scan my NXT for
and
the three
honestly,
people I want to see.
You should watch everything with Carmelo Hayes.
Okay.
All right.
No, you know why? Because when Melo shoots, he don't miss.
That's what I've been. My child tells me that all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
NXT's for the kids.
Carmelo Hayes is the guy that should be fighting John Cena, but he won't be.
The Miz says something about Styles, AJ Styles. AJ Styles comes down. He knocks out the Miz with one punch. They go to a commercial break. When they come back, it's Styles versus the Miz. They have a match until the Miz decides he doesn't want to have a match anymore. The Miz takes a flat-out walk and gets the count-out victory for AJ Styles. Takes a walk, Sorg.
In his defense, they were both pulling double duty tonight.
A stroll. Yes, they did. That was their second match. Okay, finally, John Cena.
And did AJ break his nose?
I don't think so.
He had a nasty gash on his nose. I wasn't sure.
AJ's been leading with the head on everything lately, so he seems to have new damage all the time. So
yeah, Tina just asked how did AJ bust up his face. I didn't.
He busts up his face every week now, Tina. What do you want me to do? I can't save him from himself.
I got a side note here, guys, because I'm just flipping through the Twitter, just kind of updating what's been going on along with what you're saying, and I noticed this one. Hopefully I got the wrong one. There you go. So first of all, this is the Logan Paul thing, kind of in reaction, I guess, to The Miz. And I guess he's been practicing swantons and stuff, right? But also, I just I've never seen a practice dummy that is in the prone position like that, with is it knees up, hands up kind of situation.
That's
that's interesting.
You need to expand your search terms.
Usually that's $149.99 if you go on Wix.com.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, now the moment you've been waiting for. Backstage, John Cena finally comes face to face with Ezekiel.
Oh, finally.
And Zeke says it's an honor to meet him. Zeke says his brother Elias is around here somewhere, showing their other brother Elrod around. So all three members of this family were backstage somewhere.
Confirmed.
Tonight. But we only saw Ezekiel.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Zeke, I think he kind of asked for some advice, and Cena tells Ezekiel to never forget who he really is, and Ezekiel kind of stops. He's so good. He's so good.
Everything about this was just wonderful. Man. And Cena said he's zeked up to be here.
Zeke.
And Ezekiel said, he loves walking with Elias. He loves to trot with Elrod, but he knows everyone here wants to hear Zeke speak.
Jeez.
So he's got catchphrases for all of them now.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of time to think about it, hasn't he?
And when he tells Zeke to never forget who he really is, you get this split second where his eyes kind of go. I mean, he kind of pulls it back.
And then he said, "Yeah, I'm Ezekiel."
Yeah, okay, I can do that. I'm really me. Okay,
I hope Elrod is a blonde with a fat suit. I don't know why. I want it. I want something. I want Elrod to look completely
different. Ezekiel departs. This segment immediately takes a bad turn. Theory walks in. Blah 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 blah. All the Theory stuff you expect. It goes nowhere.
Theory is trying but failing. He is not on Cena's level. He is not on the level below him.
But who's on Cena's level? Theory's trying very hard.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Zeke just had a lovely promo with John Cena.
Yeah. Sorry. Ezekiel just absolutely stole this entire scene. Here, come on in here, Theory. Yeah.
And also, there's another promo there where someone else is on John Cena's level.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Where else are we here? Bianca Belair talked to Carmella in the ring. It was uneventful. Except Belair referred to Texas as the big-ass state of Texas, which was a nice fun line. So I did enjoy that one. But there's not much here. Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan. Friendly competition for the most part. Liv Morgan wins with the roll-up. And they kind of
are we okay?
I think we're okay.
Nice
no, we're not.
Match.
Yeah. It's
nice
fine.
Little match. Yep. And Asuka's on commentary, which is always a delight.
Oh, by the way, a quick note on Liv Morgan. The scouting report's out on Oblivion. The finisher doesn't work anymore on anybody. Everyone knows how to reverse it now in the matches. So we might need a new finisher for Liv.
Well, luckily she doesn't need to hit a finish in a ladder match, Matt.
No, she doesn't. But you can't win them all by roll-ups. I mean,
you can.
I mean, maybe if you're.
Woods is winning everything with a small package now.
Well, is he? I don't know. Okay. I don't know why I even said. Sorry, Mad Mike. Okay, rolling on. Back in the arena. Oh, God, here we go. We got another completely unnecessary, self-aggrandizing Mr. McMahon appearance tonight. Literally only showed up to introduce John Cena. They had the wrestlers lining the aisle for Cena to make his entrance again. And it was everybody. Almost everybody. Even
I think the only person that wasn't out there was Lashley.
I think Judgment Day weren't out there. But yeah, for the most part, just about everyone was out there. Let's see, what notes do we have here? Graves and Saxon both referring to Cena not multiple times, but they both definitely referred to Cena as the greatest of all time. So we could all begin that debate again. Cena talks about it being his WWE birthday. He's feeling the energy in the crowd. He doesn't like celebrating milestones, but tonight's different. He starts to talk about this is all about the fans. The fans who have allowed him to do this for all this time, all these 2 decades. He thanks the fans who have been brave enough to tell him when he sucks and kind enough to tell him when he doesn't. I really did like that line because it's very true. Cena says he always wanted to say thank you, and this feels like the right moment to do that. The fans start to chant, "Thank you, Cena." Cena says his heart's pounding out of his chest. He talks about, how being in front of the fans has made him a better human being, a better husband, a better person. Cena might have legitimately gotten choked up here in this moment. I don't know. I think he is an actor, but it felt pretty genuine here.
It came off almost like a Hall of Fame speech or a retirement speech. Mm-hmm. But then he assured us, he's like, I'm gonna wrestle again. I don't know when. Yeah. And it's gonna be more than one. Don't worry.
Yep.
But he just doesn't know when yet.
Yeah, he doesn't know when we'll see him in the ring again. He says that doesn't mean we won't. He just doesn't know when that's going to be. And
then they changed one more match, and he said, "Oh, it's gonna be more than one."
Yeah.
So
he says. So he says his catchphrase, and then he walks away, and he's doing he's giving his stuff to the kids. He's giving his T-shirt to the kids, and I'm just sitting there patiently waiting for Theory to come out there and attack him. I'm waiting. Cena goes, turns his back to the stage, to the big screen. I'm like, any second now. Come on, Theory, let's go. Come on, let's get this gravy train rolling. Nope, nothing. Cena leaves without incident. Amazing. I was just waiting.
Oh, and they said, was it here or during another video package they say that he's done 659 Make-A-Wishes.
Oof.
That is insanity. That's insane.
Yeah.
It just has to be acknowledged. That's just absolutely wild.
Yeah, so good job, I said. I'm going to make sure I don't miss.
I think you hit everything.
2-on-1 match. Bobby Lashley versus the Alpha Academy special guest enforcer Theory. This is goddamn Lashley, man. He's cooking, and he did it again. He beat both of these dudes. He caught Gable flying in the Hurt Lock, and got the submission. And then Theory and the Alpha Academy decide to attack Lashley after the bell. Huh? Wink, wink. What do? Fans start chanting for Cena. Lashley's like, "That's all right, John. I got this." Lashley clears all 3 of these guys out by himself. Okay. All right.
Oh, and also, there was a you missed a big spot in that match. Otis was going for a splash off the middle rope. Lashley just lifted Otis on his shoulders, like piggyback style, and
the
just
electric
gave
chair.
me an electric chair. Like, it was wild looking.
Yes. I'm enjoying all of this. We get a recap of Cody Rhodes from 3 weeks ago.
Adrenaline in my soul. Cody got injured 3 weeks ago.
I can't get enough Cody. Gotta have more Cody. So we come back from the break and we get an interview with Cody from wherever the hell he is rehabbing.
Oh boy.
The Nightmare Factory, I assume.
Yeah, and he's just like, hey, what's up? He blames again. He's giving us a 9-month timetable for his recovery, and he says it's all because of that sledgehammer attack that his thing is much longer. He goes through the guys in the Money in the Bank match. He calls Drew McIntyre and Sheamus have Harley Race-like toughness, and he says Sami Zayn has a genius-level IQ in the ring. Cody Rhodes always knowing how to put over his opponents, even when he's not getting ready to take
And he says Omos is 7'3". He doesn't even need a ladder to reach the briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know.
Yeah, all that good stuff. Yeah, and that's about it. But hey, Cody on TV. They can't get enough Cody. Got to have more Cody. Go backstage. John Cena talking to
I think this was purposefully done.
Talking to the member of the crew, or because
no,
rolling?
Like you go from Cody saying he's going to miss all these shows, cut to quick jumps John Cena, who was also supposed to miss shows. And at the Rumble. I think that was done very purposefully.
Okay.
And even in one of the video packages, they obviously showed Cena like he's not supposed to be here. He was supposed to be gone for months. Like they specifically played that audio in the video package. I think it's very purposeful, and I really like. I'll be shocked if Cody's not number 30 in the Rumble.
John Cena's backstage talking to a member of the crew. Seth Rollins walks in, being as goddamn annoying as he can possibly be.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. He doesn't just walk in. He goes, ha 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 ha, ha ha ha. He does Cena's horns with his laugh.
Oh, love it.
He asks Cena, remember when I broke your nose, John? And that goes on for a minute. And then Amos and MVP decide to stroll in. And they kind of they frame up on Seth and MVP and Amos. And MVP says some things as he does. And they pull back out. And Cena's just standing there looking at Amos slack-jawed and stunned. And pats Seth on the back and says, good luck, and he just bolts. The side of Amos was too much for John Cena. He's got to get out of here. Where's my tour bus? So, a good night for John Cena. A good night to have John Cena back on TV, interacting with people. I think he did a segment backstage with the Street Profits, too.
Mm-hmm.
Just bouncing around, just getting into everybody else's business. It was he was the main character of tonight's episode. So
he was the mayor of Raw tonight.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's cool to see him just kind of being John Cena and making everything better around him, right? That sounds about right.
That's why he's been around for 20 years.
Seth called himself and John Cena fashion icons, which just made me chuckle.
Because I still ain't seen nobody else wearing jorts, but okay.
I will say, Cena's new hat looks very nice, very clean, very clean.
Tina called out that that's the old school Raiders font, apparently.
Yep. Yeah, it's very much an NFL. Maybe the Raiders. I'm not even sure if other teams have used it too, but yes, it's a good look.
Okay.
I like it.
What in the
wait? Where do the Raiders play now?
L.A., isn't it?
Oh, that's
Las Vegas.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they play in Las Vegas.
Oh, there you go. Oh.
The intimate confines of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Tina also says, what in the Miami Vice projectile vomit was Seth wearing?
I mean, I just kind of don't even look anymore, so I'm just assuming it's the worst thing ever.
It's kind of like if you did tie-dyeing with your eyes closed.
Mm-hmm.
Finally,
it was fine.
Finally, take us home. Main event, last chance Money in the Bank qualifying elimination match. Their words, not mine. That's what the match was called, Sorg.
That's a lot of words.
Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler versus Xia Li versus Tamina versus Doudrop versus Nikki ASH. Came down to Becky and Doudrop in the end, and Becky maneuvered into a manhandle slam from the second turnbuckle on Doudrop and got the pin. This was
Becky finally punching her ticket.
Did this feel like kind of like a very like the crowd was like, woo, like this is a very babyface kind of Becky flashback here. Didn't you feel that?
I'm just excited. We have a Money in the Bank match without Charlotte.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
I know. All
right.
Anything can happen.
Get out of here, Charlotte. Stay out of here, Charlotte. That's the remix.
Yeah.
That's coming up soon. We're gonna have that one. Stay out of here, Charlotte.
Oh man.
That's Raw, Sorg. I'm sorry that took so long.
All right. No, it's fine. It's a lot.
If
It's
Cena
3
hadn't
hours.
been on the show, if Cena had not been on the Raw tonight, we could have gotten through this in 30 seconds. But John Cena.
So let's go before we get to Forbidden Door talk. I want to talk about my weekend. First of all, I returned. We closed out the legendary historic Deltaplex Theater on Saturday night. I was there a week ago for Warrior Wrestling and had that big, insane War of Attrition match. I think did we talk about that last week? The War of Attrition match that had like 8 people, and it was like Ospreay and Cobb and Adonis and Pillman,
the most expensive indie match ever made.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It has to have been, right? So we ended up closing out with Lights Out MMA, which I got a call to do this show on the way to the show a week ago. But again, this is a place, as Rich Bikini was telling me, that closed out, or that used to hold like Georgia Championship Wrestling, and I'm like, really, in Michigan? And yeah, I guess they used to run up there a bit. So that was a pretty cool historic to a building that I didn't know existed after like 2 months ago. To running it twice, and it's the last shows. It's shutting down. I understand it just didn't make it through COVID business-wise, so they had the last few events there. I think there was even like a Wiz Khalifa concert or something that might have got canceled. That was maybe supposed to be the other event that was supposed to end, but that's where that's at. But from there, we drove the next day for a matinee show for Warrior Wrestling at Malcolm X College, right across the parking lot from the United Center. How close were we to the United Center? I don't know if you guys saw this pic when I put it up there. I'm going the wrong way. I'm going back to Friday. When we were done, I took a picture and they had everything up. This is how close I was to the United Center. There's a picture of United Center with the Moxley versus Tanahashi graphic up on those awesome screens. Remember, and I hadn't seen this side of the building, so that's how close we were. So it was an easy commute, let's say. But as part of that, it was a pretty good show. It was a really good show. It just felt like in booking going into it, it felt like, oh, this is a weird, spotty, show across the parking lot. It'll be cool, but I didn't expect like a lot. But I gotta give a shout out to our buddy Beastman, who was at the show, and I think it's the first time he's been with Warrior for a few months. Of course, we work a lot with him at IndieWrestling.us and everything with BCW out there in West Virginia, including a show last week, which will be edited within the next 2 weeks, I think. But anyways, first of all, he had Mike Bennett, and I swear this is one of the best Beastman matches I've seen in ages. I can't remember the last time I've just seen him go completely bonkers with somebody. And I don't know, you guys are following Mike Bennett on like Twitter and stuff, right? Like, this dude's got insane and I say this in like a super positive way, super rehab energy. Like, the dude has new lease on life.
Oh, yeah.
He is fucking motivating me at like 4 in the morning when he's going out for his run or whatever the hell's going on there. Like, it is like, and I had an opportunity to have a conversation with Mike and Maria actually after the show a little bit, and dude, both of them, their energy is damn infectious. It's like it's for real. It's not a show. Like, this is way for fans. Like, I just super positive, super energetic. Like, and you can see that like going into the show, and all I have to give here is just Beastman just killing Mike with the fans were up. I cannot remember a show where other than the week before, but you know, not something with like a freaking Will Ospreay on it, right? And there were some great names on this that I just like kept looking up, and I'm like, how many just mid-match standing ovations you saw in this show, including this one with Bennett and Beastman. There was a 6-way scramble for the medallion for a contender shot against Sam Adonis's Lucha Underground Championship. And I have to give I have on Twitter, I know, I've said to them, like, it's a 6-way luchador scramble match. You imagine how crazy that goes. Jen Doe and Derek are just like, they're my Chicago crew, or they're my standbys out there, and they just know lucha. They just know, like, Jen says that lucha, like, I always say lucha is her love or her heart or something like that when we were talking about it. Like, you guys have seen lucha matches, right? Like Matt, I can't remember if you've done a lucha match on camera, but I mean, you've been there. You've been to the Wrestle Rexes and everything, right? Like, you know, like those, like, you as a videographer, you know, things make sense, and you know how to follow things. Now you have 6 people, and they don't always make sense where they're going to go next.
Yeah.
And they were just there, and I can't believe I can keep up with it on the Switch, right? And it was just pure freaking magic throughout that match. It was really impressive. And then we had a Rascals match in a trios match and everything with Myron Reed and Nick Wayne and Blake Christian. And if you don't know these names, freaking look up all these names. The returning Zachary Wentz to Warrior Wrestling, Dante Leon, who we've been seeing, he just looks like this tie-dyed dude, and he is like, you know, flipping shit with everybody. And amazingly, that wasn't crazier than the Lucha match. The main event was Casey Navarro and Pillman. Fantastic match there. It was really, really cool. Like, you know, everything came together. I was worried. It was like a 2:30 matinee, plus we added a pre-show, and I couldn't get there until 9 o'clock. I'm usually getting there at like 10 o'clock for a 7 o'clock show to make sure everything's okay for a stream. But thankfully, and also big credit to my wife, who has been reorganizing and labeling and learning how to set things up. I could not have done it without her. Podner, clip this so I can say this to her later. And just everybody showed up. Everybody kicked ass, helped set up. We threw it all together, and it worked, and with like almost no flaws. It was fantastic. And the crew down there at the Malcolm X College, we were having some. We bring our own internet as a backup, but we were having some issues with the internal stuff. But you know, it was, you know, we were fine in the long run with everything. But also a big shout out again, Maria Kanellis and Bobby Cruz. I got to talk with and do some production with. They're doing, if you're not aware, they're doing this women's wrestling army, and they had one match on the show that if you got the Fight pay-per-view, it was Miranda Elise and it was Heather Reckless, I think her name is, and there's a quick gif of them right there actually. Who I know Heather Reckless is somebody I've seen multiple times over on AW Dark, and Elise was one of, I can't remember if she was an ROH Women's Champion or if she was the one that Roxy maybe beat for the belt. I think that's the one she beat for the belt because Roxy won the tournament, right? Matt, maybe you remember. She was. I'm gonna be a nerd.
Go
for it, please.
It's Miranda
I'm sorry.
Alice,
I'm sorry.
Because Spanish. And but yeah, she was a big part of that burgeoning ROH women's division that we lost to the sale of ROH. But
yeah, it's like it's
good that she's still out there, and her name is still out there because yeah, you're right. As far as like Roxy got a lot of the headlines, but she was another very bright prospect from that crew.
So that's going to be a part of, and we also filmed some matches for them pre-show. Actually, Vox was out, so they did have Holly Dead and Janai Kai for the Mission Pro Championship. That was a fantastic match. Mission Pro, which is, I believe, Thunder Rosa's promotion down there in Texas. Yep. I haven't seen Holly Dead in a while. Janai Kai, who is the Kick Demon, I believe. We've seen her on at least 1 or 2 shows for Warrior. She's been amazing. She had a fantastic match against Athena one of the last couple of shows. We actually threw Deanna in with Tasha Steeles and it's escaping me a lot. Lena Lennox, who's just been up here at Rise recently. So that ended up in a 3-way match, which was also fantastic. And we had a tag match as well that I do not see announced, so I'm not going to say anything about it. But surprising, some girls that I haven't seen in a while. In person, some of them I don't think I've seen since I've seen them at IWC a few years ago when I used to work over there. But fantastic stuff. Great to work with everybody, and just a killer show worth checking out. It's not it's not a filler show. Let's put it that way. When it comes to Warrior Wrestling, I don't think they know how to do a filler show at this point. So, and we're going to be rolling into the Stadium Series, which means to give you an idea, it's in the middle of the football field down there in Chicago Heights, south of Chicago. We set up in the middle of the football field. The ring's on the 50-yard line. This is the show where Joey Janela did a swanton onto Frank the Clown and I think it's Robert Anthony, Ego. I just saw him on Twitter. I think I'm getting that name right. I apologize. Brian Anthony, I believe his name is actually. And off of the goalpost, threw them on tables. There was a helicopter landing on the field one time with Frank the Clown. It's Lance. Basically, bad stuff happens to Frank the Clown. So, Mike, you'd love it. So it basically regularly happens. Athena legitimately
yeah, but
broke.
That also means I'd have to watch.
I would, man, we need to have a side conversation about that because I think you would appreciate some Frank. I need to say you need to watch some of this stuff over on the network, not the network, but on our VODs. We have some of that stuff. We got back catalog over there, IndieWrestling.us. Thank you, Warrior, for allowing us to partner with you with that. It's a great product, and love to introduce it to our audience too. So I mean, not that they're lacking for audience right now between Fight and PWTV. So, but anyways, and actually, Mike, you could tune in on PWTV for free. I know the first show I worked on with them at the Stadium Series in September of 2020 was on when I flipped through there. I was on the call with a guy and I was just like, okay, let's see what's going on here. But anyways, go check that out. And then I went across the street. And we saw Forbidden Door, and I realized it dawned on me.
You actually get to see the door.
I saw all the doors. I saw the doors, forbidden, not forbidden, exit doors, access doors, doors for the stairs, doors for the manager that because they wouldn't give me my food. Be careful with that mobile order on United Center. But yeah, we went across there, and I realized something had dawned on me because I remember the year of COVID, the year that didn't happen. You remember what New Japan had announced for America? This really big thing. Do you guys remember? Matt probably remembers.
Yeah, we were kicking around the idea of going to see it. They were coming back to MSG, right?
Yeah, they were going to do a solo New Japan show in Madison Square Garden, and I think we were like, well, yeah, then we're going.
I was kicking around the idea of seeing it too. Yeah.
It's like, why not? Let's go see it. But I realized this is the culmination of that idea, isn't it? This is the MSG Ring of Honor New Japan show, but exponentially bigger to a certain point. And man, there's been a lot of conversations about that crowd. And I sat there at WrestleMania when Cody came out, when Stone Cold came out. I was just like, this still isn't bigger than Punk at United Center. Experientially, right? Like the crowd feeling, right?
Well, I mean, it's also not to discount your experience, obviously, but it's also a different kind of stadium too.
Oh, it's stadium, but okay.
No, but I'm saying open air, you don't get a lot of this.
I got that, but man, I've been in a lot of arenas, Mike. For wrestling, for AEW, WWE, I've been in a lot of arenas, and it's the crowd. because that vibe for CM Punk had the same vibe collectively for this entire pay-per-view. When Shibata came out, when a lot of these guys came out, right? It was freaking there. And it is I have not been in an arena that has felt so loud that your ears hurt like this. That's not a concert. It really, I can't explain it. But and Matt, you've been to Chicago shows for AEW, right?
I was at the last All Out.
Yeah, and that
in the Dumpy Now Arena, and but I memorably had the experience of there was a pop during that show at some point. I know I talked about it on one of the shows. There was a pop that was so loud that I almost fell over, like my inner ear started to shake out. And to the point, like there's just some buildings just, you know, they rock differently, you know. And like for the longest time, like am I thinking of the Rosemont Horizon? That's not the same as the United Center.
No,
but that's another Chicago arena that's like revered for its just the acoustics and the fans and the combination is perfect.
Yes.
And it works perfectly, and it sounds like the United Center has a little bit of that same vibe.
I think it very much does. Yes.
Some buildings are just built differently, you know, and it just works differently.
And
you
man,
know, and some stadiums are like that too, like, you know, and I just still can't believe that you're sitting here acting like it's no big deal that you within the last 12 months have seen CM Punk come back in the United Center, Cody come back to WWE at WrestleMania, Stone Cold come back at WrestleMania, and now you went and you saw the Forbidden Door too. I don't know.
On top of
what the hell, Sorg, man?
Come
on, man, leave some for us.
On top of New Japan, like announcing everything and having surprise guys here in Pittsburgh, but then it goes along with because. Just that, I don't know if it's just the vibe that Warriors bring, if they're bringing the Chicago crowd with them to all these road shows they've been doing. But, like, that was a gymnasium show, and it had an insane vibe, right? Like, there's nothing freaking like it. And I think it's this Chicago Midwest fan vibe. The fans are fucking there for everything that's happening. They're 100%. They're 110%. There are no fly-by-night fucking I brought my kids fans here, okay? It's not happening at these shows, period. If the fans are there, they're fuck yeah too, okay? Like, it is insane. I do, and it's like we talk about, like, you know, when we were talking about Detroit shows, I would love to, if I was not sick of seeing the Ohio Turnpike, I'd love to go up to Detroit and see Blood and Guts this Wednesday. But I've been in Chicago or Michigan way too fucking much in June, and I'm not doing it again. Okay, please book me somewhere else. But I would love to see that, because I know like indie shows are this. I want to call it a weird vibe. I'm not saying that in a negative way, but Detroit's got its own vibe thing going on. It's a little more bloodthirsty, okay? Chicago is, and literally, like there's a lot of blood. But Chicago is just rabid for this stuff. And Pittsburgh, and listen, Pittsburgh's a good crowd. I still believe Pittsburgh's one of the best crowds in wrestling, right? Like top 5 towns, right? No? Yes?
You know, well, you know what? The last couple of AEW shows that I've been to have kind of restored my faith in it. But I got to tell you, for a while there, we weren't that good.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Batista. I'm sorry, Rey Mysterio. I'm sorry, running CM Punk out of the business. I'm sorry on behalf of Pittsburgh.
Push. We completely effed up an Iron Man match between Ziggler and Rollins at that pay-per-view the one time.
So we like the count.
Okay. I mean, well, we've never heard. We were never taught numbers here in Pittsburgh. We were so dumb. So we just got anyway.
Yes.
Returning back to your point,
Mr.
even
Rogers from Pittsburgh, like
he didn't teach numbers, Mike. He taught empathy. Anyway, and here I am not demonstrating it. Even that Hell in a Cell show for a few weeks ago, that was in Chicago, and that crowd was great too. So yeah, geographically, there seems to be a concentration of rowdy wrestling fans in that area. and it
MSG,
appears that they cannot get enough.
I mean, MSG is also unparalleled, right? I mean, Mike, you can speak to that, but
Mike,
Matt,
is MSG unparalleled? I've never been.
I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so. Mania 20, like I know we don't like to speak about the end, but when that ending happened, that was a loud,
beautiful.
That was because that was catharsis.
This whole
that was Triple H. That was Triple H's Reign of Terror ending. That was a cathartic pop. Same like similar vibe in Jersey 9 years later when Ziggler cashed in. Ooh, that was a pop.
I would say, and New York / New Jersey made Raw after Mania a thing, right? You crazy assholes with your da from Fandango. Like
so much so they were even doing it in the New Jersey Transit train.
Right.
Hour and a half train ride back to New York City.
But so
I hated Fandango.
Experientially, yes, absolutely. But I just I didn't feel it in Dallas, other than there was some pretty cool moments during the fight WrestleCon stuff that was going down.
Dallas is there for their hometown people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dallas is there for hometown.
And Mania. Don't get me wrong. Mania was freaking unglued. Okay.
Of course.
Just nuts. But there was not the wrestle feels are not the same as Chicago, but holy crap, they were wrestle feels. It was Wrestle freaking Mania. So if you're coming out dull from WrestleMania, you need to check your fucking pulse or wonder why you watch wrestling. So
it's like that's all. We're just.
New Orleans was very hot too.
Oh my God, New Orleans was fantastic. I had no complaints about that match. I mean, that was about that show.
And also, WrestleMania is still also this is the culmination of everybody from everywhere. So this is all the super fans have collected. So it better be great. But it just, I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is, AEW is kind of because they're pulling in so many people from all different companies and everything for almost every show. Forbidden Door specifically, but it's almost like an event thing.
It was, and it absolutely was.
You won't see that for a weekly Dynamite, but on the big shows.
I think when it happens, I think when Dynamite comes to town, it happens. So I think they've been pretty hot when they're in there. But also, I feel like almost every AEW show is pretty hot. Because everybody it's everybody wants to be there. They're just they're not just here, but hey, WWE's here, let's go. It's again, it's just the super indie fans are there.
Well, also you have less kids there.
Yeah, I'm with that. Yeah,
you have less kids. Adults
except for that one poor kid. Did you see that one poor kid that was just in danger the entire night last night?
Yeah, Miro tried to set up a table on top of him.
Yeah, I was fighting with the food vendor when that happened, unfortunately. And Missy texted me about it. And I was like, what's happening? He's like, you see that kid? And I saw his head pop up after he almost got bit from something else. I think something got thrown into his barrier, and you just see him pop up from behind it. I was like, oh, that kid's going to... I think...
The wrestlers are like, what are you doing here?
And then I think, Moxley threw a barrier on his face and checked on him afterwards. It was just what the fuck is happening with this kid out here?
The AEW pay-per-views, even my wife noticed this too, that she's when we went to All Out, she's and then when we went down to, what the hell we were down in Orlando for? Jesus Christ, I've been to too many AEW shows now. But she's like, there's no children here. It's just us. I'm like, yeah, it's just it's just us old folks.
Yeah, that also makes the crowds different.
Yes.
Because I would say conservatively, 40 to 50% of WWE crowds are kids.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And
I think conservatively.
And I love going to WWE shows and seeing the kids freak out. And that's cool.
Yeah, of course.
That's cool.
I think kids' voices aren't going to be as loud. They're not going to pop for everything. And then the adults aren't going to be as loud strictly because they're watching the kids.
Yeah, they're their parents that brought their kids dressed as John Cena. Right?
I just think the more expensive the show gets, the more expensive the ticket gets, the less kids you're going to see there. I mean, I think that's why you see I mean, when we were at when AEW came to town for Dynamite, I saw a good amount of kids. I took my own kid. But yeah, when you go to the WWE shows too, it's a little bit more like the circus has come to town kind of vibe, where like, yeah, the parents.
Yeah, because I don't know how many parents are gonna get lining up like, hey kids, you want to go see Blood and Guts?
Yeah, that kind of says for itself.
You might be surprised how many children are up for that kind.
I mean,
no. Please, I worked at Toys R Us during Christmas. Wouldn't be surprised at how many kids are up for that. How many parents are up to that is a very different thing.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, listen.
Because Tina's saying AEW tickets are comparable to WWE. So I mean,
roughly, yeah. But obviously, something like this sold out quick, and like I think we paid this percentage over when we got our tickets. And everything like that, but plus scalpers apparently. I mean, and listen, I mean, as we show, even on indie wrestling, Matt, you're familiar with this. RWA is definitely for the kids, right? I mean, right? So that small child flipping off Patrick Hayes with the finger over the eye nose situation.
I know. Like Mad Mike is here. Like, I don't know if a parent would take their kid to a show called Blood and Guts, but I've seen the RWA shows, Mad Mike, and I'm telling you, some parents will take their kids to anything.
I'm not saying there aren't some. I'm saying there aren't.
There's enough to fill the West Newton Gymnasium every month, that's for sure.
But that's like the shut the fuck up kid on Dynamite.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, it is a shut the fuck up kid. It's a whole room of shut the fuck kids. No,
Sorg. There was a kid that they cut to on Dynamite chanting "shut the fuck up."
I know. I think I saw that.
He was like 4.
Yes.
He was like 4.
Oh my God. He was adorable. Sorg.
And listen. Parents have different ideas of raising their kids and being okay with one thing or the other, flipping off the kid and flipping off a wrestler and laughing at it. There's presumably the mother right beside her in this picture, and an even smaller child.
This child was grounded just as I assume the child who was chanting "shut the fuck up" on Dynamite is also now grounded for a month. Like, we have to assume that like ace parenting is happening after the fact, or else our entire society is going to crumble.
Do we?
Here.
Is that what he? Yes, that's where we're going to fall in society. But anyway,
Sorg, let me get our eyes back on the show itself here, because I got to tell you, when Claudio came out,
oh my
God, even
God,
watching at home. Oof. I'm sitting there watching, and I turned to Jen, and I'm like, "That is loud. That is a very loud sound."
Yeah, that was confirmed. Confirmed. It was, so it got into it, and then the match started, and the crowd was like dead, and I'm like, they wore the fuck out on his entrance. I really think they did, because it was so.
Well, I mean, a little bit of like, how long are we gonna be here? Like, that is a really tricky spot. Like, we saw the same thing when Cody came out at Mania. That's a tough spot. You're like, yes, he's here, and then you have to have like 15 to 18 minutes in the ring. So it was interesting to see. Like, I think both of those matches worked out well, but that's a really tough spot to be in, to have like everyone excited to see you show up. And for a second, I thought they were just gonna like beat Zack Sabre Jr. in 10 seconds.
I know.
Be like, you know what? F it. We're not gonna top this pop. Just beat him. But they went through with the match, and it was interesting. Tough spot.
Oh boy. No, it was a fantastic show. I don't even know where to start with this stuff. And also, Shibata.
Yeah.
Listen, Shibata is somebody I think I had to ask you about, because he just didn't he just re-debut after years of injury or something like that?
He had a brain aneurysm sort of.
Right.
He was supposed to be alive.
I knew nothing about this guy, and to hear 20,000 people or whatever facts out of United Center, and that place is big. That's the biggest arena I've definitely ever been to, aside from equal to Madison Square Garden. It's just like we're up there, and it's just amazing. We're really close to Raptor Sting field. But
did you almost get caught in that shot?
I feel like I almost did, right? So, and side note, I halfway through the show, I noticed the All Out banner, because it was like directly on with us. So I just it was invisible until I turned my head the right way. I'm like, oh shit, is that our new WrestleMania point sign? Are we going to point at the All Out banner? Is that going to happen?
They had banners in they hang the banners like they're championship banners at the Now Arena.
Yeah, they do.
For each show that they have put in there, and I'm like, this is stupid.
That's fine. That's fine. But
whatever. I just like, yeah, like I can only imagine being there because I mean you've been around me whenever I like New Japan, and
oh my god, I love.
It's always exciting to me whenever I see anybody from New Japan pop up.
The childlike excitement you had when people showed up in Pittsburgh for that last AEW show,
and just to like to be there and just have just like a conveyor belt of nonstop. Like I was giggling when it got down to when Shingo Takagi's out there. Doing double teams with Sting, and I'm like, this is so wild. I'm in love with this right now.
Didn't he give Sting a thumbs up at some point?
Oh man, I was just I think Shingo was calling spots with him. He's like, Sting, you want to do a lariat? Yeah, let's do this lariat. All right, I'm gonna hip toss Sting. Yeah, let's hip toss this guy.
It was so
Sting,
fun.
Can you do this senton Sting? He's like, well, I haven't not in 30 years.
I missed most of the buy-in, unfortunately, right? But even that was fun, and then we hit that first trios match with Jericho and Suzuki and all them, and I'm just like, we hit that was like a half-hour match, right? I'm just like, I'm good. Like if I went home now, I'd be happy, right? It was so good. It was so fun, and we had another 3 hours of this stuff to go. It was just unbelievable. And also, you're like, oh, is this crowd just here because it's an AEW show in Chicago? And you're like, no, this room knows who the fuck all of these people are, and it was so great. it was like. And I mean, you remember, like I was thinking back to like the Ring of Honor, War of the Worlds,
like Global Wars.
Yeah, Global Wars. That's
stuff,
right. Yeah. They did this similar thing, and we saw all these guys at Stage AE with a few hundred people, right? For that, and now it's happening on this scale. Like that's just bonkers to me. The American like the New Japan American expansion went from questionable like 6 months ago to, oh, fuck, they're here. Like New Japan is like a 4th, 5th American promotion right now. And I think
like you talked about that that MSG show that was like in the works before the pandemic kind of screwed everything up. Like, they were ready to, I don't know if it was going to sell out again, but I was interested. So yeah, it's really sucked for New Japan, like how hard it's been to kind of operate the way they wanted to operate.
Yeah,
like they were, they've had this whole, bi-continental, strategy kind of in, I don't know, what would you call it? Just on pause now for like a year and a half, and they're finally getting a chance to roll it again.
And they stumbled out of the gate for sure, on a few things technically, in Chicago of all places, right? They had issues. Not in the show, but in stream, or technically with that, like, but still, it's like. But they've recovered it, and again, just the project is so exciting to people. And here's a potentially controversial conversation I'm seeing in the chat that I'm going to bring up, Mike. Tina says, "Is the Rainmaker coin drop as synonymous of a sound as the Austin breaking glass?" I know you're thinking it's not as big as Austin, but.
It's not. I didn't even recognize it.
But no, you did not. You did not. But
that's the point.
But a worldwide audience did. And I didn't recognize it at first either when it dropped on Dynamite like last week or the week before, right? But
that's the point.
But you know what? I didn't think it was a thing until I heard.
You can play Austin's Glass Shatter in a football stadium at an NFL game.
Okay.
And people will think someone's about to get hit with the
I will
thunder.
I will posit this. It is in Japan, and it just got introduced to an American audience on primetime television. So
the answer is no.
The answer is it's about to be. The answer is it's about to be.
I think
is Okada going to be on Dynamite this week? No, probably not.
What are we doing? Okay.
No. It's a.
But wait. But when Okada comes back in like 6 months,
I still won't recognize it.
You're not a fucking AEW fan, Mike. That's the first fucking problem. You're not.
He's not
You're
in
fucking
AEW.
not. You're like,
He's
I
not
don't
in
fucking
AEW.
get it. And we're like, this is the fucking best thing in the world. You are a wrestling fan.
No,
but
Rob
you.
in the chat says, I've shot an Okada entrance, and I don't even know it.
I didn't realize how big of a thing it was until Dynamite a couple weeks ago.
Because it wasn't. It's a big thing amongst a smaller set of fans. It's like when you saw the Thanos Copter in Loki. Like, the people who know it, yes, they know it, and they fucking love it.
The Rainmaker Thanos Copter. Oh, that's the title.
I think you're overshooting the mark comparing it to the Austin Glass Shattering.
Yeah, exactly.
But
It's not
I think at the
comparable
same
to
time
one of
that,
the
like,
biggest stars of all time.
But I also have to say that when Okada showed up on that Dynamite in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I was not expecting that kind of reaction from that crowd.
Yes.
And they really went like wild. Believe me, at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, I would expect that they would go wild. Because if you remember when they did the MSG show, you know, Okada was a god at that show too. Like, you know, this fan base.
Yeah,
you know,
to the fan base, sure.
The fan base that consumes New Japan Pro Wrestling, Okada doesn't come over here very much, you know, at all. When he's there, it's something special, and he gets treated that way.
And we're not talking about 500. And we're not talking about 500 super fans at Stage AE. We're talking about 20,000.
I'm not discounting anything you or Matt are saying.
And now
the question was asked: is the Rainmaker coin drop as synonymous as the Austin Glass Brick? And the answer is no.
Okay.
The answer is just straight up no.
Objectively, no on scale. No.
Like, okay. What is the Okada coin drop as synonymous as dan.
Oh, come on. I don't even think the Glass Break is as synonymous as that. Come on. Like, and also age groups, because we talk to a lot of young wrestlers.
Okay, fine. Is it as
like,
synonymous as No, it's not. I think the point is
it's
that categorically not.
This is absurd. But
agreed.
I just want to point out that because there are a number of some New Japan teams don't hit like that either.
It's not even as synonymous as wrestling has more than one royal family.
Oh God, sorry. I'm fucking over this.
It's not.
We're moving on. This conversation's been tabled.
Please,
forever,
please,
for eternity.
Save us from ourselves.
You brought it up, Sorg. You brought it up. You could have just.
Hold on, FTR. Let's change the subject. Tina's going to save us. Sure. FTR is the best tag team on the planet. Currently hold titles from 3 different companies in 3 different countries on 2 different continents. So
you want to talk about an entrance theme that slaps? Holy moly, that FTR theme!
Yes,
go wild for that too, don't they, Sorg?
You got. Is it as synonymous as "Oh, what a rush"?
Stop it! We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
First of all, roll this back for 1 second. No new theme today will ever be as synonymous as a Glass Break, Rapidu, or ba 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 da ba ba. We're trying to do Hulk Hogan, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
It will not, because we are in a world of split audiences, right? Like, it's just, we will not get to that point. I feel.
I'll say no original entrance theme.
Really?
If someone uses a licensed song,
sure,
that's a different kind of animal.
Okay.
Because, like, Cult of Personality, I'd say, is up there.
Yeah.
But that's a licensed song.
And
Wild Thing, it's up there, obviously, but it's also a licensed
And again, to
song.
Japan, I think the Suzuki entrance, Rainmaker, who else is a big one from over there that really kind of sticks? Geez, I feel like the Go Ace thing for Tanahashi is probably pretty big with them.
I mean, Roppongi Vice, that's a New Japan song.
That fucking slaps, first of all.
No, I'm serious. That's
yes.
Roppongi Vice, Roppongi Lights.
Hold on, Matt. Matt, are you okay over there?
No, it was just I think it's funny you mentioned Roppongi Vice, because that's one of the songs that I catch Mason humming to himself around the house all the time.
It's a catchy
The
ass song.
children love it.
He will sing. Rocky Romero knows what he's doing, because Mason will be humming Roppongi Vice, and he will he'll be humming the 3K song too for Show and Yo. May they rest in peace. That great tag team. He'll sing that song to himself too.
The
Rocky
team,
knows how to
the
do
team, not the individuals. The team, not the individuals.
team,
We
not
just
the
want to make sure that's clear for those that are not following New
Yeah.
Japan. Boy, but still. Anyways, so Matt, Mike, did you watch the full show last night?
I haven't had a chance to watch any.
Okay. So I would be curious. Of course, I know you're seeing everything secondhand and everything like that. So it was fantastic. Yeah, it felt like it was an AEW show, right? That had New Japan guys.
Yeah.
I would love to know what the Japanese announcers said. Because it's like, this is very short, but I loved him on the championship entrances. I thought that added a lot to it. It was a very cool show. I hope they do another one. I think Ross Berman put out as a native Chicagoan, they need to do Forbidden Door 2, and they need to do it at Wrigley Field is an idea, which, man.
Or they could spread the love a little bit.
Well, why? You got no, because Chicago's their hottest
Why
market.
not?
Well, so.
But see, here's the WCW problem. You have to spread your bigger shows to other markets.
Okay.
Otherwise,
we have Grand Slam happening in New York. I think they just announced it again. I thought Tina said in the chat room. They're returning to do that. So they're creating these marquee things.
But that's not their biggest show.
So it's just one of their biggest shows. It's attendance their biggest show. Like it is, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
it is in fact their biggest attended
and
show.
it's also right after All Out.
Okay.
It's the follow-up show to All Out.
Okay.
So when you're watching All Out, half of that's going to be like plugging Grand Slam, which kind of devalues both of
we
them.
had a setup for blood and guts at the end of this pay-per-view, so
And it devalued it a little bit.
You can debate that, but I'm fine with it. It's
we
also
would give WWE shit for doing the same exact thing.
I don't think we
would.
I don't think we care anymore because the pay-per-views are another episode because they're special events and we pay like $1.99 for them at this point, or they're included in our cable subscription maybe.
But I'm just saying we have to judge it.
Oh, we had a problem. We paid $60 for the damn things. Oh, I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
How much did you pay for Forbidden Door?
Tickets, so
the go home show to
$40, $50
Well, I mean,
pay-per-view.
I wasn't even surprised that they ran that angle. It doesn't mean that I was like thrilled to see it, but I wasn't surprised at all if they did it. Like it's just you got Blood and Guts looming in like 2 days. And they're gonna do something. There was a part of me that thought that Jericho was gonna go out there and like cost Moxley the match, and potentially just like completely screw over the main event, which has been like a very like un AEW like thing to finish out on. So I mean, yeah.
And I'm in a mushy spot because I don't know when the show actually ended.
Rob says tune in tomorrow night to Nitro. Kind of felt like that.
But it's a big event. I mean, they
circumstances kind of, I don't want to say forced their hand. They didn't have to do it, but they did. It was a choice.
I think just where everything landed and they had to. And also, remember they are like treating these Dynamites like big special events. Not so there is like a different math that kind of goes into that. So, anyways. I don't know, Matt, any other thoughts on this? We're going along on this. I'm sure we'll talk about this a bit more. We do have the Runway on tomorrow. I don't know if they watched Forbidden Door, but I have a hunch they may have. But yeah, looking forward to that. But Matt, anything else that kind of sticks? I mean, there's so much for this show.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, if you're gonna ask me, like, give me one more thought on Forbidden Door, I'll just say Ospreay on Orange Cassidy.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible, and
Jeez.
I knew it was going to be incredible, and it was what it was going to be. It's remarkable.
That was the match Missy was there for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it was like another thing, too. Just going back to that, to the trios match with Sting. And it's, it's getting a little later in the show. So you're on the couch. You go from, like, sitting up, and then you're slouching. And then, like, toward the end, you're kind of like, you're in your full stretch mode, I
love the visual demonstration he's doing right now.
And then, like, Sting comes out. Or, like, they start to do the intros for them. And, like, Shingo comes out. And, like, I sit up. And then Darby comes out. And, like, let's go. Here we go, baby. And like, yeah, it was fun too. I love El Phantasmo, so it was fun to watch him on. Like, that was like a huge stage for ELP. To see him doing this thing out there too. And
yes,
yeah,
with Sting, with Sting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, with the Orange Cassidy match, like very much similar to when they did Orange versus Pac on pay-per-view, and that was like that was I think that was like the first AEW match for Orange Cassidy, but it was kind of like a little bit in that same vein where it was like it's just he is amazing. Will Ospreay is a freaking unbelievable. He gets better and better all the time. And yeah, there was no doubt that was going to be an awesome match.
For a guy who was suffering from a kidney infection, I believe it was just like God, what was that show that he did make? The end of May? Yeah, that was St. Louis. The end of May that we didn't have him for Warrior. Like, he's not. There's no way he's fully recovered. there's no way, you know. And he's turning in what he is. It's incredible. Incredible. And again, that I love that, you know, if you did, I think there's a lot of people, obviously there's the super fans, there are the people that are just on board with this, and I think a lot of people were introduced to this. This helps New Japan infinitely. This helps the big thing. And I want to leave with an idea. I don't want to talk about it, debate it now, but I do want to in the near future. I'll just something for you guys to kind of sleep on. I love this idea that there's not, hey, you're like, there is this, maybe I should wait till tomorrow because I don't think I've fully formed this in words. There's like, you're a wrestling fan that follows these things, so you can follow Suzuki from one place to another. You can follow Will Ospreay from one place to another. I'm trying to think who else goes through there. Your Christopher Daniels, your Lily Moriarty's. Like, they're like not the way that they're not locked down. This Forbidden Door thing, this Everybody's Everywhere thing. Kaz just showed up in Impact for a few weeks going into Slammiversary like he never left. Right? This feels like a God.
It's Marvel.
No. I'm thinking a sports analogy here. This is like you.
Oh God.
What?
You trying to make a sports analogy?
Yeah, no. It's like, is this gonna work?
Sorg. It's like trying to follow where Wong is in the MCU.
MMA.
Because he can show up on Ms.
He's
Marvel.
fighting the Abomination. He's on Miss Marvel. Wait, he didn't show up on Miss Marvel, did he? I think I'm caught up. He probably.
I don't know. He
probably will.
He might. The 10 rings are there. Who the fuck knows?
Oh, the 10 rings? I didn't see the 10 rings.
Ah.
What did you see the 10 rings at?
Yeah.
Did I watch the latest episode? Now I'm not sure.
No.
I've watched like 3 of them, right? But anyways, but the idea, like MMA, you follow somebody. Like, we have a guy that was just in UFC. He was here at 247 in town, you know, and they kind of move up and over and through companies and ranks and things like that. I feel like that's the kind of vibe that's happening with wrestling right now on like a grand level, with your AEWs, the Impacts, the New Japans, to Warrior Wrestling, to Women's Wrestling Army, to Defy Wrestling, and everything in between, right? Like, there's this like high level thing that's happening with all those promotions, and as as somebody described to me, the premier level indie promotions out there that are working. So I don't know. That's just it's an idea I'm working on. Again, it's something we can talk about later and what it kind of looks like.
Hey, Yelena Belova just showed up on Hawkeye.
What?
I mean, it's like
I'm telling you, it's the end. It's
but
following characters. It's hey, Agent Coulson just showed up in Thor after he was in Iron Man 2, and now he has his own show. And then he dies and comes back for Captain Marvel. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You go into Forbidden Door is like attending an opening night premiere of Endgame.
Okay.
Everyone there has seen everything and knows everything that's going on. So the crowd is going to be at its apex.
It all comes together. And that's the real.
It's all connected.
And that's the real Super Bowl of wrestling.
We'll
leave you with that, guys. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, the Runway, Calvin Couture. And Couture. Hopefully I'll say it right this time. And Tyler Klein will be joining us. We'll be talking about them becoming new Rise Wrestling Tag Team Champions, as well as I know Tyler is involved with the Top Rope Tabletop, which will be broadcasting on the IndieWrestling.us. Forgot my own website. Feeds on this Thursday night. So if you like Dungeons and Dragons, or you just want to see wrestlers dressing up and being other characters, you can tune in to that. Top Rope Tabletop, by the way, is now canon at RWA on commentary. I figured out. So that's fun. But that would be Justin Idol, Keith Hott, Tyler Klein, Tatiana. Damn it, I know I'm fired. Oh, Tony Kincaid are a part of that. I think that's going to be the lineup for this Thursday, but they've been tossing around some new potential things going on. I believe this is the start of season 2, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. I'm not involved in content over there. I just make sure they get out. Thank you, everybody. Mad Mike 483 on the tweets.
Yeah, I talk about things and stuff, and I'm going to try and watch all Forbidden Door. I have a busy day at work tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of it. But I will watch it to its completion at some point.
I hope you find time at work, because we all know you need to find time for wrestling.
Yeah, I definitely don't watch enough.
Yeah. Look. And not. Somebody else who definitely watches a lot of wrestling, like it's his job, Mainstream Matt, WrestlingInc.com. Where what the hell are you doing over there these days?
I'm writing.
Okay.
I'm doing some boring website administrative things.
Oh no.
That is, but that's okay. The grind is fun too.
Mm-hmm.
But the writing, a lot of writing, and generally just trying to keep the lights on for Nick and Ross and the rest of the gang.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get Raj's kids through college, so we're gonna do whatever we can.
Fantastic. And oh man, Rob says it's MTV's Rock and Jock Softball. I think my analogy completely fell apart out of the gate. Anyways, that's enough of that.
Sorg, you tried to
know
compare
what? Forbidden Door was like a Rock and Jock softball game. That's not too bad of an analogy.
Thank you, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, what? Stay Mayhemy? What? No. Stay tuned for Silk Stockings. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.